All right, guys, we are back and welcome back to Tactically Favorite, also known as Trigonometry on Instagram. This is a much anticipated video. I'm very excited about it. Today, we're going to talk about my Glock 19X slash Radian Ramjet Afterburner slash Radian compressor spring. That was a lot. Cue the music. Hey guys, I get a lot of compliments on my hoodies. I'm not rocking my hoodie today. There's a reason I'm rocking what I'm rocking today. I want to represent Jackie Robinson, so Brooklyn, LA, and also for my LA, my California guys out there who can't have access to some of the firearms we have in Texas, man. I'm thinking about y'all. I promise I'm thinking about y'all. So appreciate you guys. Hopefully they change the laws out there, but I think they suck. California, New York, y'all gotta change. But anyway, back to what we came to talk about. So I appreciate you guys. I've been reading my reviews and the Glock 45 video. It actually did really good. So I appreciate the support and the love. There is one issue. You guys kept saying, what about the 19X? What about the 19X? So, okay, I'll pull the 19X out. It's right there for you. I want to kind of just pay homage to my guys who love the 19X. I didn't know we had that many people who like the 19X. On a Glock 45 video, you wanted to talk about the 19X. So today we're gonna talk about the 19X. So if you're watching this video, you requested it and you already know what this is. I'm not gonna make this long and drawn out. Kind of want to talk about where it came from. Y'all know this is it is my first Glock, first ever Glock that I put together myself, that I sourced out the parts. Never did that before, and this kind of was the catalyst to a lot of the Glocks I own now. So what is the Glock 19X? So the MHT trials, which was the modular handgun trials for the United States Army to replace what was then M9, the Berettas. Now, I was in the Army when the Berettas were used. I didn't have a problem with the Berettas. I like the old school guns. I like the 1911s. I am a fan of those, but I understand technology and how we have to grow through this stuff. So it was time for it to go. The old guy had to go, man. I understand that. I'm starting to get there. So anyway, so they had the trials. I think Glock was in it, SIG was in it, FN was in it. Even Beretta, they put out a new gun, and I think it was pretty dope, man, to be in the trials. Unfortunately, for a lot of people and a lot of Glock fans, Glock did not win the military trial. SIG won the military trial with the M17. So that's fine. I was gonna lie and say I didn't have a problem with it. I did have a problem with it because I served in the Army. I knew that a lot of people in the military love Glocks, but we're not gonna hate on SIG today, y'all. I'm gonna try to do my best. So SIG won the trials, fair and square. I'm not gonna complain about it. The Glock 19X is pretty much like the 45, a baby between the Glock 17 and the Glock 19. What does that mean? The frame is a Glock 17 as far as the length and the grip, and then the slide is a Glock 19. So they had a baby, 19X was born. They had a stepchild, Glock 45 was born, but I don't know if I want to call them stepchild. Should I call them brothers and sisters or brothers and cousins? Same gun, different color. Oh, they gotta be cousins then because they're different color. One's black, one's kind of beige. So one thing I like about the Glock 45 is that this was the first year Glock actually put out their own patented color for a firearm. Before we saw all black, we saw some grays, we saw some OD greens. I'm sorry, not before, afterwards. This was the first one. After this, you saw a line of gray, black, and other FDE colors, also OD green colors. So this was the first one. I love the paint job on it. We'll talk about it when we get on the tabletop because mine just changed up a little bit. I got it customized. Another thing I wanted to talk about in regards to what is the Glock 19X. So Glock released what they didn't win in the military trials with a few small changes. And I think the only change was the safety. They kept the lanyard and stuff like that. All right, guys, let's take a look at it at the tabletop, which is much requested. Let's go. All right, guys, we're back on the tabletop. One thing I failed to mention on the video is that this came out in 2018, and this was my introduction into Glock. Remember, I told you on the Glock 45 video, I did not like Glock. I wanted them to do something different. Well, this is my very first Glock. So for my first one to be a Glock 19X is pretty cool. It's also the first time I ever did anything that to a firearm that made it not stock. So I've never changed the triggers and slides and stuff like that on HKs. So this is a first, man. So y'all really looking at an OG. You're not looking at something I just bought and just customized. This is the first Glock I ever owned. So enough rambling. Let's talk about some of the parts, some of the things that I did. Y'all know I always call it a beautiful art piece. We'll talk about the Ramjet and the compressor. So it's two different things, but we'll talk about that. Just for comparison, I've got my Glock 45 here, Glock 19X here. Pretty much the same gun, y'all, just different colors. So they're cousins, not brothers and sisters, unless they had two different dads. I mean, triggers are the same. A couple other modifications are the same. But let's get into it. One of the biggest shout outs in my first time ever customizing is Thrash Tactical. So the slide was done by Thrash Tactical. One of the biggest things I like about people who I buy products from is customer service. Norso had great customer service. I got plenty of emails. Also was able to call him. Thrash Tactical, man, this guy gave me his number and we talked on the phone about this build and about everything I wanted to do to it. If I didn't like it, he would change it. And one of the biggest issues with it is I didn't want to lose that Glock color because it was customized. It was from Glock. He tried to get close to it as he can, and it's perfect, man. So Thrash Tactical, shout out. So I had ports on the top, windows cut on the top and windows cut on the side, kind of like the scales on my Norso. Pretty much the same thing, but it's kind of more futuristic on both sides. But I mean, just take a look at that, man. That is dope. That's really nice for you Glock 45 and Glock 19X fans. So love it. Y'all know I'm a fan of Trijicon, so I kept it Trijicon on the top, even with the suppressor height sights. So I have suppressor height Trijicon sights. These are night sights. I have them on both firearms, and then I have the same Type 2, Trijicon RMR Type 2. Yeah, and that's pretty much it on it. I really love that slide. Thrash Tactical, shout out, man. I'm gonna send you this video. Great customer service. I recommend him over and over and over. I was a customer before he started making other things, so he makes barrels now. So you guys go out there and support him. I think he's still out here in Texas, so please to give a man a shout. One thing I failed to mention on the Radian Afterburner, Ramjet Afterburner, you're talking about three different products. So the Ramjet and the Afterburner, two different products, and then the compressor is another product. But we'll talk about it when we take it apart. Let's go down to the triggers. So you guys know my Glocks. I use the same trigger. If it works, it works. So same trigger as the 45, the John Wick Excommunicado trigger from Boogeyman Customs. Sadly, I don't know what happened to Boogeyman Customs, guys. I keep going online and try to purchase another trigger, and I can't find that company. I see their Instagram, but they don't have a place where you can go on and purchase. So that was a few months ago. I don't know if that's changed, but if that's a bad deal, man. If those guys are out of business, I'm sorry about that, man. I really like that company. Same thing with the owner. He was a pretty good guy. He let me customize this trigger. So you can't really see it. The pins are gold in it, so to kind of match the FDE. But man, I hope you guys are doing okay. I hope you're still in business. Hopefully you see this video and I can find a link to your new products, but I could not find a link to this anymore. I think the website said you were shut down. Of course, the frame, if you watch my Glock 45 video, I'm not, and this is probably alien, I'm not big on stippling. I think it's beautiful at a distance. It's that beautiful car at a distance, but when you get close to it, I don't like it. I'm very particular about lines, and you can make a lot of mistakes with stippling. There are some guys out there who kill it. That's no shade to them. My preference is not. Now I do every once in a while do grip tape. I had grip tape on this one. It was kind of a white grip tape. Purposely, I like the white grip tape, and I make it a little dirty to kind of let it fit in with that rugged look, but I took it off about a month ago. I'm gonna put it back on. Once again, as in the Glock 45, I always have 2 lights. Thank you guys. If you have been a part of the OG clan, you know why. I don't think I have to repeat it. Okay, I'll repeat it. I keep this one in the TX holster because if I carry with the X300, we already talked about it. It kind of stabs me in the wrong places, and you know, it's not comfortable. I prefer the X300 over the TLR7, but I think I like the way it looks. It's more tactical. But like I said, I can't carry it. I can carry it in a side holster or a leg holster, but I can't carry the appendix, and that's the only way I carry. So I have 2 lights for this. Of course, you know, I have 2 lights for the Glock 45, holster light, practice light, security light, side holster light. All right, let's go ahead and go down. I'm gonna pass up the Edgar Sherman. You guys know I love this, but this is what I would call the elephant in the room. The real 19X guys know why I say it's an elephant in the room. We're gonna pass it up right now and talk about dynamic weapon solutions. So dynamic weapon solutions, this is an extension. I think this is a +3. So there's 22 in the magazine. You'll see I always have to Dremel a little bit because of this mag well, but I don't care. The color doesn't bother me. So a lot of FDE. I love this FDE color in here. My friend Brandon, I'm gonna give Brandon a shout out. He calls it 50 Shades of FDE. I think that's a dope name for it. Also, like, kind of see it as maybe a FN build, a scar build, right? So if I had a scar, I can sit this next to the scar, and they'll probably look like they're related. So let's talk about Edgar Sherman, the elephant in the room. And I'm gonna give you a couple seconds for you guys to think about, why is this the elephant in the room? Why are you thinking about that? You already know that any Glock I own is gonna use this. I love it. I can get to my mags easy. We talked about that in the 45 video. But elephant in the room, Edgar Sherman does not make a mag well for the 19X, which means what? I had to Dremel and Dremel and Dremel and Dremel.
Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist.
So the 19X comes with a lanyard back here, which was for the military trial, which you can take off easily. But in the front, it's kind of a slope that hangs a little lower. So this absolutely will not fit. I don't recommend Dremeling if you're not a fan of it. If you don't know how to do it, I will let somebody else do it. But I think that's one of the things I loved about Dremeling, because now I have something that a lot of people don't have. First of all, there are not a lot of these Edgar Sherman mag wells out there. They're out of stock all the time. So when I see them gone, I don't see FDE at all. I know they make a green one. The black ones hardly stay in stock. I mean, when I bought this black one, it went out of stock in days. So to have this on a 19X, which typically shouldn't fit, is not coming. And this thing is tight, y'all. I didn't just throw it on here and play with it. No, this is on here. It's not going anywhere. Kind of tried to make the drop off on the lip the same as the 45. I think I did a good job. You can see up in there a little bit. You can see some of the Dremeling. You can also see how I had to Dremel where the magazine goes in the front. I had to Dremel that in a little bit. So it's a little rugged when you look at it from that way, but I like it. I don't have a problem with it. Looks good to me. So, but I just love, and that is FDE, guys. If I'm looking at it, it looks a little green. Some days in the sunlight, it looks FDE, but it is FDE. So I like the difference. You got a shade of FDE here, different shade of FDE here, FDE and FD. So it's beautiful. I love it. I did not mention lane tack. I only use lane tack. So I love lane tack barrels. This is for my suppressor. Hardly ever use it. So may sell it at one point. Let's take it apart a little bit. We'll speed it up so YouTube won't beat us up, and talk about this Radian Ramjet and Afterburner and compressor. All right, guys, here we go. Radian Ramjet, Radian Afterburner, Radian compressor. I'll talk about the compressor first. Well, let's talk about the Ramjet first, because I had an issue with my old spring, and I think I want to spend a little time on that. So beautiful, man. I love the coating on it. I'm not sure what the coating is called, but it's not black, and it's almost a gunmetal, no puns intended. And I think that's really nice. It almost has a Lantac feel in the way it's cut. So I like the detail on it. It's fluted. Flutes are a little different on both, but the thing that makes it what it is are the ports. These are pretty big ports, and I will tell you, they work. But not only is the barrel ported, but the afterburner is also ported. So they kind of line up exactly where they should go. I actually like that. I like that profile, right? I like the Radiant logo here, but I actually like that triangle-like profile. I think it gives a RoboCop type of feel. No pun intended, or no offense to the guys who are called RoboCop. We used to have a guy we called RoboCop in high school because he would always mess with us. But
Madam, you have suffered an emotional shock. I will notify a rape crisis center.
Shout out to that guy. I hope he's still alive. So they match up perfectly, and like I said, they just work, guys. I didn't feel the difference. I thought it was just kind of a placebo effect when I first bought it. I watched videos on it before I bought it, and I thought guys were just talking about it. We talk about things when they're new products, right? And we just go, yeah, that was great. I really want to know if it's great. I would really give her an honest review, and if it sucked, I would tell you right now that it sucked, but it doesn't. And I didn't find that out until about 2 weeks ago. So I took this to the range. I haven't shot my 19X in a while. And before I shot my 19X, I shot my 45, and I wasn't shooting suppressed. I was just trying out a new gun that I built. That's another hint into something that I'm building. I told you guys that we're building a 416. Well, right now it's finished, but I'm not ready to put it out there yet, but we'll put it out. But I was taking the 416 out to shoot it a little bit to kind of just see if it was working. It had some issues. We'll talk about it later, but now it's working perfectly. But I shot the 45 over and over and over, maybe about 150, 200 rounds until I was used to the feel of the 45. I wasn't playing this on purpose to shoot the 45 first or the 19X first. It just so happened I shot that first. The second I picked this up and shot it after shooting 200 rounds of the Glock 45, I felt the difference like right off the back. It almost felt, and this is broad, like I was shooting a 22 in the way that the barrel didn't move around, in the way that I stayed on target so I can get more shots off on target. My RMR wasn't doing this a lot. This thing works, guys. It works. Those ports are there for, if you don't know, to keep. So put it this way, a lot of the pressure in barrels, all the pressure in barrels is going out the front, right? So no ports. This is not just going out in the front. It's going up. So that upper pressure is keeping the firearm down. So as you shoot, instead of it lifting too much, I think the percentage probably is about 20 or 30%. If it is, it's more than that, I promise you. It's keeping the front end down. That way I'm not jumping too much. And I promise you, I'll put my money on it that you can get shots off faster with this than with just a standard 19X or 45. So they work, man. They work. I love it. I'm gonna buy me one more because I originally had like a bronze barrel in this firearm, and I like the bronze look better. So they make one that's bronze, but the afterburner is still black. So maybe I'll sell this. Maybe I'll give it away to you guys. You know what? I'll give it away. If I buy the bronze one, I'll give it away. I'm not a fan of just selling stuff. People sell stuff, man, for regular price, and they used it. I'm not a fan of that, guys. I'll give it to somebody once I finish with this. Let's talk about the compressor. So the compressor is a spring system from Radiant. It's pretty pricey, y'all, but once again, it works. This is how I know it works. I've shot this, so 2018, right? From 2018, and you guys know I shoot a lot, to 2025, I've shot this a lot, and I mean thousands of rounds. At some point, if you don't know already, your spring will become kind of worn out. And I took it to the range about 3 months ago, and I was shooting, and it wouldn't lock back, okay, every 30 rounds. Then it got worse, and then it got worse, and then it got worse to the point where it never locked back. And then it started having more issues. So you can kind of run and gun or run through the gambit of trying to figure out what is wrong with this. I started with the spring, and immediately it functioned 100%. So the positive thing, or the better thing about this spring, a lot of times, even the Glock springs, they come with one spring. Radian sent us, or in the package, they come with 3 springs. It's this one and these 2 right here. So you can kind of tune your system, whether you have it or using it, with the Ramjet, or you're using it without the Ramjet, suppressed, not suppressed. That's amazing. And it's worth the price, because most people sell springs just by themselves, and not the 3 springs. So I haven't had a chance to use the other springs. I popped this spring in one time and went to the range, shot it, and it was perfect. So I think that concludes my review on this, guys. I didn't want to keep you out there too long. I hope this entertains you. I hope I satisfied you. You guys requested the video, so here it is, the Glock 19X. No more complaining. Talk to you guys later.